Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed Shlita. We find ourselves midweek, and we ask you to please continue davening for Chaylei Tzvah Gan Yisrael, for Shalom L'Chol B'Tzoi Yisrael, safety of our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael. We learn each day Le'ilin Nishmat Seren Daniel Shimon Rav Doron V'Shel Shem Kam Damo. We also want to bid a friendly farewell to our dear friend, the prayer Tachanun, which was recited for the last time this morning for quite some time. And since we just covered the halachas of Tachanun, hopefully we have a greater appreciation for the Tefillah and also perhaps more of a longing for its return. But we are learning the laws of Sefer Torah now. Let's look at the second chapter, Sefer HaTorah. Hakriya b'Torah tzorach lihos mitoch Sefer Torah kosher. When we lane, that's what we call the word laning, when we read from the Torah, has to be from a kosher Torah scroll. Hainu Sefer shenichtav l'shem shemayim b'dio al haklaf, which means it was written for, we call it l'shem shemayim, for the sake of the mitzvah, properly, with the proper ink, on a parchment. K'vi shenichtav Sefer Torah rishon de Moshe Rabbeinu mipei Gvura, just like the first Torah scroll was written by Moshe Rabbeinu, based on the word of Hashem himself. Kelomar, gam tzibur shekovei itim laTorah. So even a congregation that sets time aside for Torah, tzorach lipagesh l'pachos kol shlosh yomim im Sefer HaTorah hamakari k'vi shenitil Moshe miSinai. They still have to, even though they have Torah study, but they still have to gather as a community, as a congregation, at least every 3 days with the Torah scroll, the original one, just like it was given to Moshe Rabbeinu. V'im ein sham minyan, and if let's say you cannot gather a quorum, they can't have a minyan. Any yecholom l'kayim es mitzvah sakriya b'Torah, then they cannot fulfill this mitzvah of reading in the Torah. Because much like other dvarim shebegedusha, certain sacred things, as we've been covering over the last number of months, they require a minyan in order to perform them. Sefer HaTorah chasar afil os achas. If the Torah scroll is missing even one letter, kula pasal, the entirety of the Sefer Torah is invalid. Ve'in mekayim bo es mitzvah sakriya b'Torah, and you cannot fulfill Torah reading mitzvah with that scroll. Halacha zu mavlita es ofia hamiyuchad shel HaTorah shekula rayon eloki echad shalem. This expresses, this halacha really emphasizes the uniqueness of the Torah, that the Torah is one godly proof in its entirety. Which is an expression of the entire Torah through all of its mitzvos, its guidance, its letters, etc. If even one letter is missing from that guidance, so then there is a deficiency, there is something missing in its completeness, which is the absolute godly Torah. So if the entirety of the Torah is lacking by even one letter, then you don't have the expression that is needed through this mitzvah. However, according to many Rishonim, you could read in a Sefer Torah that is disqualified. But we follow the Ruba Deruba, the majority, the predominant opinion is that if their Sefer Torah is possible, we don't use it. It's really the Rambam, it's found in the Tshuva of the Rambam and the Mordechai that allow you to use the Apostle Sefer Torah. But again, that's only really B'Shas HaTchak, but according to most poskim and the common practices, we do not use one. And thank God, we're blessed, and many shuls have numerous Sefer Torah. And if lo aleinu, if God forbid there is a mistaken one, we could switch to another one. So along those lines, if in the middle of reading, in the middle of laning, you realize that there is something wrong with a letter in the Sefer Torah, then you take out another Sefer Torah, a different one, and you continue from where you left off in the first one. On the one hand, we don't continue reading in the first one, because according to most poskim, as we just said, you cannot read from a Sefer Torah that is pasul. On the other hand, we don't want to have everybody say, oh, well, we know that the first Torah was pasul, which would mean that sort of retroactively what you have read until now is not good, but we don't want to trouble the tzibur, tircha the tzibura. So in that regard, we'll rely on the lenient opinion and say that you can read from a Sefer Torah that's pasul, meaning you can fulfill your obligation with what was already read using that leniency, but we'll take the stringency in saying that reading any further will require you to use a new one. Let's say you find a mistake or something wrong with one of the letters in the Torah, but you're not sure, according to Halacha, if this is really something that will disqualify the Torah from use. Mamshichin likra ba'oso sefer, you can continue reading from that Sefer Torah. Because we have two reasons that we could be lenient. Reishis, the first reason is hitachin shah sefer kosher. It's possible that maybe it's not disqualification and it's still kosher. Shein is the second is afim yesh b'psul harei lamanu sheish deu shebediavad eshel likra b'sefer Torah apostle, because we have just learned that there are opinions that allow us to read from a apostle Sefer Torah in a case of great need. V'achar hakriya izdar zulisakin is a sefer, and then after the reading, or if it's on Shabbos, you wait till after Shabbos, you take it to a sofer and make sure that the Sefer Torah is fixed accordingly. So in a case of doubt, and that's why the rabbi should always know these halachos of what to do. I will quote you a great saying from my Rebbe, Rabbi Beryl Wein, Zecher Tzadik Levracha. He always used to say to us, he would quip, that Sefer Torah are like people. Don't look too closely. So I'll just share that little nugget of wisdom with you and do with it with what you would like. But we have to know what to do in cases of these imminent questions that come up. You have to know what to do on the spot. But for now, please continue davening for Tefillah May, safety of our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you here next time.